Welcome to the We Inspire Futures podcasting project.
So I'm sitting right now with Susan Jackson-Bosher, who is the principal at Russo School, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the use of technology and the things you've done in your school, because you really have created quite the change.
I wrote my very first blog post, and for me it was the tipping point that I hadn't blogged before, and we had our FDK morning, new families, new kids, and it was amazing to see. So I grabbed my iPhone, took some pictures, and made my very first blog post. So it kind of took off from there. So I always feel like if I have an expectation for staff, I need to provide the tool. So during the summer, I purchased enough iPods and gave them out at our first staff meeting in September. And I said that the reason we were getting those was because I wanted to see them in the hands of kids, and I wanted to see the documentation, photographs, videos, the voice recordings of kids, and that's what we did. So there was an expectation behind the gifting of the iPod touches.
So then how did you support the staff once they had those tools?
What's nice about any of the tools we're getting now, the kids know them. So it was giving staff permission, even though they didn't know how to use it, turn it over to somebody who does. And if they're 4, 5, or 6, it's okay. Let them show you and be a learner as well. Because what more beautiful way is there to have that teacher-student relationship than for them to see you as a learner too. So it wasn't easy for everybody. Not everybody's in the same place, nor do I expect them to be. Because I think as soon as I start a more demanding approach around technology, I'll turn people off. So I've been very supportive in saying, well, just give it a try, see how it works, and we really go from there. Certainly one of the things that has taken off for us this school year is the blogging, and having kids doing a blog post at the end of the day, reflecting on their learning. It's opened a window for us, opening that closed door to the classroom and making it a window. So now all of a sudden the parents are checking in and they're seeing what the kids are doing. On our ELP, full day kindergarten, there's like a secret message every night. So the kids have to look with their parents, and then they tell the teacher what the secret message was. So, it's learning, it's enjoyment, it's engagement. It's just going beyond what we've done in the past. So one of the things that we're adding to our we've got a PA day coming up in our staff meeting, is having tech time during our staff meeting. So looking at those educational apps that students can use in the classroom has been tremendous. Certainly staff are supporting one another because, as I say, the blogging is growing in our primary division because teachers are helping each other. And it's giving them permission to start small. I don't need a blog post every night. But think about, you send home a monthly newsletter. You could do a monthly post. So instead of doing the paper copy, make it a blog post. And then I think once, again, we start turning it over to kids, more will happen. If I go back to that tech time idea, what we want to do is focus on some type of an educational app at our staff meeting, or just a different way to use that tool so staff can see it in action. We're asking the staff to bring all of their devices to the PA day. Again, so we haven't had a chance to play. And I think we need to play with them.
You do, yeah.
That's what kids do. Mm-hmm. And it leads to the learning.
The issue that I've always had when it comes to iPod touches or iPads is that you can quickly get immersed in the apps and in the tool and kind of forget about the learning. How do you try to keep the learning at the forefront?
You're absolutely right. It is a tool. It is not taking the place of any of the learning. It's about that higher level thinking. So how can I demonstrate or show my learning, make my thinking visible, and it might be the tool that you choose. When a new tool comes, we forget about the old tool. Not every tool is going to work for everybody, so it's having the availability of the tool, the collection of the tool, and then students can choose what meets their needs. I find myself, and this is how I phrase it to parents, rarely now do I take a pen to a meeting. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it on a device of my choice. And I'm saying, well, that's the same with your kids. They're just choosing to demonstrate the expectation by dictating orally their answers or using a recording device, whatever it might be. What we're finding now is our junior students are starting to bring their own devices. So that adds a whole other layer, and we're kind of wading through that right now. But the kids are welcome to bring their own devices. They are used during instructional times, no screen time outside.
Okay.
And they're starting to bring them in and share them with their peers. So that's been an interesting change for us. One of the things that has been tremendous, we have more and more classes that are doing video newsletters now. So it's all student-based, and the students will talk about the different subjects that they're doing. I mean, they take the iPads and they do filming all over the school. If they're doing something in phys ed, they take the iPad there. So it just documents the month for parents, and it's a video, so they get to see their kids in action, and they're not shy.
Oh. And how have parents reacted to that and to that kind of thing happening in the classroom?
It's been mixed.
Okay.
Because we have, again, going back to our previous point about, is it a tool or is it, taking over the learning?
Yeah.
So we're actually hosting a tech night in the month of February, because we want parents to see what can this tool do for their students. Well, it would be their children.
Yeah. Our students, yeah.
To be able to say, we don't know what kind of jobs your children are going to have, but we can't limit them by not allowing them to use technology. There's some apprehension around, what happens to this stuff once it goes out there in cyberspace? Who has access to it? So, for example, our school blog is password protected. Any of the videos would be by sharing the link only. That makes parents feel better about that aspect of it. It's not just educating staff, it's not just educating kids, but it's educating parents. It's everybody involved in the process. And it's also teaching them how to be a discerning learner using technology. I've always had a love for technology. I've always tried everything first. I've never asked anybody to do anything I wasn't willing to try. So I started the school blog before I asked anybody to think about blogging. So I've tried to model what I'd like to see our direction as a school to be, but respecting where everybody is in their comfort level. So it's the mindset that this is where we are as a society. These are the tools we need to give kids to be successful and enjoy them. There's just so much learning that can happen, and to see those little faces or bigger faces just enjoying, learning, and discovering, I think any of the painful steps to that end are well worth it.
Thank you for tuning in to our interview with Susan Jackson-Bosher, the principal at Rousseau School. What sort of obstacles are you overcoming with technology in your building? Please share your voice with us. We'd love to know your story.